Maybe it makes more sense for me to have live footage of the eclipse going on in the background, but that's okay. We're not getting a total eclipse here. Okay, right. I started the recording. Today we are doing Serde sexpr S expression, in case you're wondering. Support for Serde. This library is already written. I think it mostly works, or at least works for the cases that it was originally intended to, except that the whole reason I'm doing this is I wrote a Nix flake for it, but the Nix flake's not working because it's dependent upon the newest version of Serde, and this hasn't been updated for that. So we have to figure out what's going on here. So far, it's not making a hell of a lot of sense as to why it's failing. So we kind of spent last stream, which I didn't bother publishing. Yeah, we spent last stream just kind of figuring that out. Figuring out how Serde works, because I wasn't super familiar. That is Serde in OCaml. And then figuring out what exactly this particular piece of code is trying to do. To make it simple, we're basically just figuring out this whole simple variant thing. So yeah, basically this should somehow work, and it's not working. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So yeah, that's the idea, Dylan. That's the idea. Thanks for paying me to do so. It's I think the hourly rate is working out for me pretty good. No, but seriously, of course, thanks for the sub. I do appreciate it. All right. Yeah, so kind of interesting. Like we're on like 414, I want to say. Am I not in the right place? Nope, I'm in the test file. Nice. Classic me. So we changed this code like so. I guess the get diff probably tells us more than anything else. Okay, not that one. Get diff source Serde sexpr. There we go. So we changed this because Leandro removed visit variant, like visitor.visit variant, right? And we're just supposed to call deserialized variant. I looked at the way this was done in Serde JSON with that change, and it was literally this. It was literally the change I made. But for whatever reason, this don't work. I don't know why. Just doesn't. So that's what we're trying to figure out. There was also this new field that I wasn't exactly sure what to do with. So for now, I'm just failing with the ignored any. In the JSON, it seems like what's happening is they're just kind of ignoring closing brackets at the end of at the end of like a JSON object, and so they just ignore those. And basically for this, I don't think there's any time there should be a deserialize ignored any call. So I think we're safe that way. If we look in Serde ML, that's another place. I forgot to make sure that deserialize ignored any isn't called internally anywhere. I guess it is here, which could cause problems. This is in, oh no, it's just let ignore any, right? So that's still just, again, that's not an actual call. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's just make sure ignore any also isn't being used anywhere. Yeah, it's not. Okay. So it seems like this is just like a way for people who are putting in new formats to Serde. They can use this little field as they see fit if they have some extra characters that can just be ignored. So I think that's really what ignored any is about. So I think we should be okay with our catch-all fail with, which is what the eventual catch-all is in Serde JSON anyway. Okay, so that brings us back to me seeing if I can figure this out, which yeah, so I wrote a basic deserializer for this. That isn't working, surprisingly. And that's because I guess it's calling this deserialized variant in here. Let me think about this. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I copied this from the test file. That's what I did. So I copied this deserializer from the test file because that was the failing test, and then I was trying it in the REPL to see if we could make any difference, but we just ended up with this. Okay. So I'm kind of interested to see, I can't remember if this is actually the current state of this file. I think I'm actually, let's see. Is there a load? I don't think load does what I actually want it to. No, load is taking in one of those compiler output files. Yeah. I think I'm actually just going to reload Dune UTOP to see what happens. Okay, so we are back to this. Right, so I commented it out in order to get back in. Now I remember. I just had to remember where we were at. All right. So let's see if we can figure this out freshly after our weekend of not thinking about it. The function applied to this argument has type D a Serde D base CTX to B Serde.error result to name string to variance string list to be Serde.error result. This argument cannot be applied without label. I don't think I noticed that before. It's literally just a labeled argument problem. Is that really all this has been this entire time? Okay. And this is on 414 right here. Is it really just that this D has to be labeled? That would be really, really funny. Okay. So if I remember right, can we do something like this? I'm forgetting how to use named arguments at the moment. Random things I happen to forget. Let's see. There's got to be a named argument in use somewhere. Do I really have to do D equals D? Oh, I bet it's, oh, but D isn't even in scope. Oh my God, I made a lot of errors here that I didn't even actually notice. First of all, D was underscored, as in like unused, right? Same thing that we do in Rust. And then we have this. So if we just run a normal Dune build instead of using the Nix build, it should basically give us the same thing. We should be here, and I'm pretty sure this is invalid syntax, but we'll just work through it and figure it out. Okay, self also needs to be used and is currently ignored, so that might help something if we don't ignore that. And then we might actually get an error that means something to us. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This function application is partial. Maybe some arguments are missing. Okay, so I actually did this just fine. Good. We did this fine. The only thing is that it's saying to provide the name and variants. Now, are name and variants actually required according to this little guy here? I guess they are. They are required. They're just named, but they're not optional. Okay. Okay, so it's just really basic stuff that I just was not completely understanding because I was too distracted by everything else. I think what I'm going to do is just go with name and variants like this and then see what happens. Hey, Whimsically, what's up? Okay, name is unbound. And I'm guessing that's because of this little underscore guy right here. So I'm going to just do this. I guess that's a named argument that we're ignoring in our function. Yeah, it's a little windy. I was saying what I should be doing is putting like an Eclipse live feed on there, but alas, then there's going to be YouTube ads. Maybe someday I'll just pay for YouTube Premium so that I can just like play, you know, semi non-copyrighted content on YouTube in the background. But yeah. Okay, so I think this was all that it was. I got distracted by a few things, but at the end of the day, this is it. Buster Keaton movies on loop then? Nice. I've heard of that. I can't say I'm cool enough to know what it means. You're just way cooler than I am, whimsically. We already knew that, though. We already knew that. Oh, thank God. Thank God. It was just something really dumb simple. Like something really dumb simple. Really dumb simple, guys. Okay, well, this stream, my last stream was just a dumpster fire of me not understanding anything. And this was just, I just had to read. Yeah, really just had to read. Yeah, it's a given for sure. I need to make my OBS background the same color as my terminal. That way there's not like this weird black bar on the right on this view, since we're using this view a lot more than we used to. But I haven't quite, I guess there's probably something I can do. First of all, I don't even know what color that is because it's alacrity. It's not super easy to figure it out. Let's see. Is there just like a freaking background color thing I can do? Color source. There we go. It's a color source. BG. Okay. Ooh, this is looking good. Okay, color source is on top. That's fine. You buy. See, this is why I don't bike places, basically, because this would be me. You biked one day, you biked, and then you couldn't bike the way back, so you just had to walk your bike back. Oh, that's rough. That is really rough. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about laughing so hard about it. Okay, we're gonna do this, and then we're going to literally put it at the bottom. Okay, so we now have this background color, and now we can edit it until we think we have matched. We've matched the color. Okay, there is a nice little color picker. Hey, that didn't take long. It just took me having to actually do it. Is that bar visible? I think I did it. How's that look? I think that looks pretty good. Oh, I switched scenes, so now nobody knows. Yeah, that looks a hell of a lot better. How about it? Okay, what about this one? Okay, so I feel like then this should be the same. So I should copy that color source. I should copy that color source over to my coding one. And again, put it at the bottom. There we go. There we go. We're figuring things out here. Hey, I just fixed something that's really been bothering me aesthetically in about 30 seconds. Okay. Glad we did that. That was really necessary. So for some reason, this is hanging at 96% on this test. I don't know why. Zen QRP3. Classic droid name. No. You don't bike anymore, but you had a similar experience where you could, yeah. I can't even read it because I'm already laughing. You had to call to get a ride back. Oh, yeah, that would be me. I've got a buddy that lives in Brooklyn, and he bikes into the city every day. And just like, dude, I couldn't do that. Okay, so for whatever reason, Dune test is hanging. Let's just find out if it hangs typically or not. So first of all, we need to stash this for reasons. Yeah, I don't care about you, Durev. We'll get back to you, okay? Because we actually got our initial Nix PR merged, even though we're going to make some changes to it. Okay. So then I'm going to do a little grit branch. -D. Let's just make sure. Git diff Nix. Yeah, nothing. Okay. So then we can just do git branch -D Nix and get cop Nix as a fresh branch. Don't really care what it's called. And get stash pop. Okay, we're back in business. Hey, Juice, how's it going, friend? Hope you're doing well. You're known as the cyclist. I'm gonna try to remember to call you that whimsically. The cyclist is back. But at this point, that might have a negative connotation, and then you might think I'm bullying you, which is unfortunate. Okay, so this looks good. Let's just whip this real quick. Go back to main and see if we still have. Oh, this isn't gonna work anyway, right? Because I already did the thing. And then it's going to have the wrong version of Serde. I actually can't test the normal thing because I don't feel like going through and figuring out the old dependencies and everything. So I guess it's a matter of does this not work for everybody, or is it just me? Let me just make sure I didn't make any changes to test. I didn't. I remember now. Let's do git undo. Yeah, I didn't make any changes to the test. Let's just see what our source Serde sexpr changes ended up being. I can go from there. Okay, that's all we had. I think that looks good. I'm just going to put this in one PR. I don't think anybody's going to care. So I'm going to say chore Nix. No, that's not actually true, though. I'm going to say bug. We're going to say bug. And let's see. Let's look at Serde to see how, because Leandro has a certain way he likes all these things. You pay professionals to call you slurs. Okay, it's just fix. Okay, that makes sense. Fix. What did we do? Update, deserialize, variant. Update, deserialize variant for latest Serde. I think that's good. Hey, Danny Express, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Those words kind of slurred together. All right. Hope you're doing well. Oh, yeah. We got to force that. Beautiful. So let's go back to Serde sexpr compare. This fixes deserialize. Deserialize variant to work with the latest version of Serde. It also updates the Nix flake, the flake.nix, to include the OCaml toolchain for development. I think that's good. Yeah. Hey, Danny. Hope you're doing well. Looking good. Looking good. We got a PR open after Leandro literally just merged my last one, but you know, he's used to it by now. He'll survive. Let's just do a Nix build. I forgot to do a Nix build because I was just using the Dune build thing. But we don't have any updates to our lock files, so this shouldn't actually make any changes. Because we're not doing a flake update or anything like that. We're just doing Nix build. So there won't be any repo changes. I just forgot to make sure that it for sure works. Okay, beautiful. I mean, if Dune build worked and Nix build didn't, that would be a problem. Okay, so Nix build works. We finished our flake for Serde sexpr. And let's see what we want to do next. Well, that didn't take long because it was just a really easy fix. I thought it was more complicated than this, but I spent like 2 hours last time learning Serde stuff and not completely understanding it until I came back to it. Everybody's surprised. I know. Okay, so I don't know. I wonder if I want to try updating Atacama to use the latest version of Riot or not. I wonder what Leo thinks about that. I mean, we always could, just for the hell of it. Let's see. Follow done, PR open, good enough. The follow done thing doesn't actually make a hell of a lot of sense anymore. So let's just follow done. I should have done a little bit better than that. Okay, let's try that again. Follow done, comma space. Boom. Okay, so good at this. Okay. Sure. I don't think that's a thing. Oh, you know what? I just thought of a did I leave that commented out in the Nix flake for Serde flake. I probably did. Damn it. Damn it. It's still pointing to my local Serde. Okay. I fucked up. Okay. So let's git undo. And then looks good. Dylan, what the heck, man? What the heck? I fixed your bug and now you're not letting me curse about it. Okay, let's just do a Nix build here and pray to God that it works. Pray to the gods. Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, yay, it worked. How about it? So let's just go back to our last CM. There we go. There we go. And a little refresh on here. And we should see. Yay. That's what we want. we don't want it pointing to my local directory. Stupid. Yeah. So I think I'm not going to go back to all of the Nix stuff and add the dev toolchain until somebody asks for it or points it out that there's a problem. These are all things that I should have included. Utop I've included, but I didn't include Dune, which kind of makes things a little nicer. And then the big thing is I didn't include OCaml LSP in the dev shell. That was a bad choice. Paul and Hobbs, thanks for the follow. Hey, CCPRN. Feels like it's been a little bit. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we are moving on to Nix stuff now. So I'll update the title for that. And Nix flakes for OCaml. Snowflake. You know, the one use. So I still have a touch bar on my MacBook. I figured you were doing pretty bad. I mean, I didn't actually see why, but I jumped into Tej's stream for like 1 minute earlier and saw that you had a deleted message. So, you know, I don't know what it said, but so I knew, you know, maybe it's not the best day for you. I don't know. Just messing with you. Yeah. The one use of a touch bar, by the way, is if you type in a word, it like suggests the emojis that go with that word. And that is the only thing I actually use my touch bar for. Okay. Let's see. So we did that. So now it's a matter of, do we want to continue? So Serde is basically done, is what it comes down to as far as Nix stuff goes. The ones that I know are actively being developed on are done for Serde. So we've done Serde. These are all in the Serde mono repo, and we have the PR open for Serde sexpr. But in Kataya Prodigy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we could move on to all of this atacama stuff. The main issue with atacama is it's depending on an older version of Riot. And it was before Riot actually had a flake. So I can't just like pin it to that older version, basically, like in the flake. So I have a couple options. I can create a new branch of Riot that has the source code at v008 and then copy my flake over to there to make this all work. Or I can just update atacama to work with the new version of Riot and not deal with all that mess. So then it just depends on if I can actually figure out how to do that. I think that's probably what we're going to do. I think that's what we'll do. We'll see if we can figure that out. That sounds more fun right now. That sounds more fun. So let's see. We are done with this, which means we can kill the session. So we'll just kill. Yeah, okay. I know. You want me to actually say kill session. All right. I want a new session anyway, so that's kind of the easiest way to do it anyway. If I'm killing one and getting a new one. I did kind of want this to be renamed though, but I forgot how to do that. I remember how to do it. Damn it. Where's my cheat sheet? Where's my rename TMUX session? Rename. It's Control B $. Hard to remember those kinds of things. Control B $. Atacama. Okay. Let's see. This is in Surrey. So we'll go in here. We already have our flake built, but it don't be working. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually copy over the dev toolchain stuff from the sexpr flake into here, because that will make this easier to work with. So let's just do this, and then looks good. I want to say it's probably here. And it just has self.packages.default. And yeah, that really doesn't need its own line. Okay. Let's just make sure this doesn't change anything, even though it'll do some work to get some of those dependencies. Shouldn't have to re-download them. I should already have them built on the system. So hopefully that just works. S expressions. Yeah, we were fixing a bug in Dylan's code. Just a classic Dylan bug. We were fixing it. You wouldn't believe the amount of typos in that file. You just wouldn't believe it. You would, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, he's a Gleam dev. Yeah, that's true. He said he wrote OCaml on Twitter. He said that he wrote OCaml recently, but I don't see any proof. How's it going, Ninja? I hope you're doing well, dude. You'd believe the number of typos? Nice. He wrote OCaml on stream this morning. Was it before I got on there, or was I not paying attention? I don't actually know. I was working while I had your stream on, so I was mostly just chatting. Oh, cool. Nice. Okay, so we got this all working. We still have this riot message T malarkey. So yeah, we could try to figure this out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I know nothing about atacama, to be honest. I already forgot what it even does. Pure OCaml socket pool for Riot, inspired by Thousand Island. Seems to be easy to understand and reason about, while also being at least as stable and performant as the alternatives. Okay. Nice. Specify a port to bind to and a module that will handle the connections. In this case, our echo handler looks like this. Custom lifecycle functions can be specified, but sensible defaults are available in the atacama.handler.default module that you can include to get started quickly. Okay. Got it. So, yeah, let's see if this is something that I can handle figuring out. So in atacama connector, line 32, we have a type error. This expression has type riot.message.t selective A or skip to A, but an expression was expected of type riot.message.t. Okay. I guess I need what? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have to do a duram reload here. Sometimes this kills Emacs. We'll see what happens. Will it kill Emacs today? We're gonna find out right now. Okay, it didn't kill Emacs. How about that? All right. And eglot. There we go. LSP's on and working. Oh, one good thing is your alacrity is super janky. Nice. Yeah. I mean, mine is too. Mine is too. But I'm a little bit mad at myself that I basically have spent a month or longer with that black bar and I just haven't bothered doing the color thing that literally took me 30 seconds to do. And it looks a lot better on OBS. Has nothing to do with alacrity, I guess. Since you switched to GUI Emacs, you no longer have your editor crashing as you no longer depend on it. Oh, that's nice, actually. I don't know. I've used GUI Emacs for a long time. And can't say I've never had problems with it, but you know, what haven't I had problems with, right? Okay. So now we're back to this actually having an issue. So I think the point is that handle message expects this to be a message.t, but the message here is actually a message.t to blah, blah, blah. So I guess I need to look at changes in Riot's handler, I would say. So what is this in? No, the handler is in... Oh no, it's right here. Let's see. So handle message, we have module H, data con state S equals h.handle message data con state. Okay, I'm guessing this is probably what comes from Riot, but let's see what happens. No, we're still in atacama. I've been wrong every time. I was pretty, yeah, Leo said this is because it depends on an older version of Riot. So it's possible that this is like too far down the chain that the change would have to be made, that without understanding anything, I might have a hard time actually doing it. Okay. Let me just think about it. So this is a match receive after 500L. So what does receive look like? Receive. Here we go. This is in Riot. I finally found something in Riot. Okay, receive takes a selector, which is this message.t select of message skip. Okay. And this just has receive after 500L. Interesting. Fun selector after ref, let timeout, match after with none, affinity, sum after. Interesting. One line match. I don't particularly like one line matches. I'm not used to reading them. Juicebox, I'm sorry. The dog isn't home. I know. It's sad. Since I actually know how to refund points now, I'll do it for you. Just for you, though. Usually I don't refund points for doggo time. I think I haven't cursed long enough. All right, there we go. Refunded. So usually I just scam people. Exactly. I think I put it in the description that the dog's not always here and I don't do refunds. I think I did that. But mostly it's a scam. That's fine to say to Twitch staff member, right? I'm mostly just trying to scam viewers. Let's see. Let timeout equals match after with non-affinity sum after. In effect perform. Proc effect. Receive. Ref timeout selector. Okay. And so then we get this whole effect.perform thing. What does effect.perform actually do? You can't do it because this is the problem with mvarc. The problem with mvarc in Emacs, I don't know if NeoVim handles this differently. Since I don't have a global install of the OCaml LSP, put an LTE tag on the dog and add a Twitch overlay that shows whether they're around. Yeah. I don't think my partner would let me do that, but it would be fun. Let's see. Yeah, the problem is if I go into a source file, like a dependency source file, then mvarc, I don't have an LSP anymore. Kind of annoying. What kind of dog though? Don't judge. Don't judge, okay? Do not judge. It's a Chihuahua. A bigger Chihuahua, no. As far as Chihuahuas go, he's not that bad. He's not that bad. Okay, so this is usually when I say, okay, I'm just going to open this in the actual Riot source instead, because then I have LSP support, etc., etc. Yeah, he's 11 pounds. He's a little guy. Yeah, he wears a sweater most of the time because it took us a couple years to figure out that like he just gets cold so easily because he's got the shortest hair in the world. And yeah, pretty sad it took us that long to figure that out, but oh well, at least we did eventually. Let's see, Riot, runtime. Anybody remember what I'm actually looking for? I think it's import.ml. That's true. It's funny. Okay. Let's just do a new window and get into Riot. No, not Rio. Not Rio. Riot. Okay. We finally succeeded our Duran, but unfortunately I don't actually have an OCaml LSP here in Riot. That's too bad, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to actually update my local here to be state of head, and then let's update the Riot flake while we are here. Let's see. So we're just gonna take these and put it into our Riot flake. Oh yeah, this has some different parts to it, doesn't it? So build inputs here. Let's do this, and then oh, I already have OCaml LSP in Riot. Why didn't I do this everywhere else? Why did I only do it in Riot? Oh gosh. So I didn't really even have to do this. I already have it. I already have the LSP. Oh well. Well, now I have other things. The good thing is the LSP should just work. And let's do this. Let's start the LSP. It's going to be really exciting. Oh, but I didn't have OCaml format installed. See, there were reasons. There were reasons. I don't know why. I guess we'll let this evaluate first before we try it in Emacs. Okay, that finally finished. Now we have to do an mvrc reload here, which will take another 30 seconds. I've gotten back into Spindrift lately, and I have to say, it's very good. It's very good. I forgot how good it is. Grapefruit Spindrift. It's probably the best. Probably one of the best things you can buy. If you're not in the US, I don't think you can get it though. So sorry about that. Okay. That looks good. We're here. Let's try an eglot reconnect. Reconnected. And we're so back. Spindrift. Lime Topo Chico. I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, I've seen these. Are you talking about the hard version? Are you comparing? Are you just talking about their seltzer or something? Okay, it's just the sparkling water. Okay. It's funny. Yeah. It has real juice in it, at least. It has real juice. That's good. I like Spindrift because it only has carbonated water and fruit juice, and that's all it's got. But yeah, it looks good. I haven't tried it. Okay. What were we doing? Anybody remember? Oh, I was gonna see if I can figure this out. I probably can't, honestly. This is probably just another thing where I'm just not gonna be able to figure it out. This is interesting because I'm actually in Riot. And it kind of seems like I'm getting the same exact. I feel like I'm getting the exact same error in Riot. Do I even have like a good build of Riot? Or does Riot not currently build? Be kind of interesting. Okay. We have a clean build of Riot. So why is the LSP telling me that there's a problem? Oh. Oh goodness. Let's just try a reconnect again. See if this goes away or not. Reconnected. We like reconnected, and it's gone. Okay. We no longer have problems with effect.perform. It could have actually been because of not having a fresh Dune build. All right, 1 second. Message check. Do. All right, let's stand up too. Okay, everybody, stand up time. Stand up. Stretch. Do what you're supposed to do. Nightshade's still probably at lunch, so he's not going to hurt himself. So that's good. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. The hip flexor isn't the happiest thing right now. Oh. Hey, Prophet. How's it going? I'm seeing if I can figure out this bug in atacama. Switch to standing. Let's go. We fixed the bug in Serde sexpr. And now I have to fix a bug in atacama that's due to a new version of Riot. So we'll see what happens. I guess one thing is, one thought is, what if I say Nix flake update? There's a way to do this without getting the packages updated, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just S expressions. S expressions. You can Google S expressions and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's probably going to take a minute. Okay. So this build worked just fine. This is the one that's failing. And it's saying that message has type selector. I don't really get this part. What do they mean this message has type, this expression has type selector to A? Oh, no, I do now. It's because it's a function, but function is named. I figured it out. I'm so smart. So there's a selector, and then it gives you that alpha. Okay. Yeah. So let me just go back again to the actual problem, which is in, does anybody remember? Is it connector? Handler handle message, handler message. Okay. So this is supposed to be a message.t, but this is actually just a selector to. So I feel like the problem is receive has changed. And receive is actually coming from so it's like this selector hasn't been applied in order to get the message. Oh, I get it. So if I haven't passed a selector to it. I get it. Okay, Juice. Have a good meeting. That's all that problem is. So the problem is, now that I actually looked at the freaking type of the receive function, it's going to eventually give me a message. So it should be okay. This is what I want, but I'm guessing what got added is that now we're specifying a selector and we have to give it that selector. This is where opponents of currying come in and say, you know, if we didn't just say the types are wrong, but we said, hey, you're actually missing an argument, users would be better off. And I get it. I do. So the thing I don't actually know is what I actually want to pass for this selector, right? Because selector takes a message T and does select of message or skip, right? So I don't actually know if there's like a nice default selector or what. Let me think about this for a second. I guess the thing that, like, since I don't actually know how this is used, this is where I get confused. What I could do is let's look in GitHub. This is how I would usually try to debug something like this for a project that I have no history working in, is look at the git blame. I could do it in Emacs, but let's just do it in GitHub. It's not Serde, it's Riot. Riot. And we go to Riot. And we go to runtime. And we go to import. Implement message selectors. Here we go. This would probably give us some nice information on what this selector nonsense is about. Okay, implement message selectors. Match, receive any. Ooh, okay. This just told me everything that I need to know. Which is, if you don't want to specify selector, you're just going to use receive any. That's all that I really needed to know out of all of this. And if I just looked at the code right here, now we understand. Receive any doesn't have a selector, right? And the default selector is literally just message to select message. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I just couldn't I couldn't be sure without knowing exactly how that was used. Okay, so we don't have to do this, which makes me happy. We just have to do this. And that's one of the reasons that it's nice. Like, you could have git blamed that file, but if you just look in GitHub and look at the actual git diff for the PR that implemented that feature, it often tells you more information than just like the git blame in the exact file that you care about. Our Nix flake update naturally is hanging again, but I bet it's already done the hard work and it's just going to work this time. How about it? Okay, it is just Nix packages and flake parts, but that's fine. Waynes.dev, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome. Okay, this is good. I think we probably did the right thing. Let's see if there's any other build errors once we can actually build this. I don't actually need this update. I just wanted to make sure I had the latest Riot. But I'll just do it one more time. Okay, it worked. A promotion for my channel? No way. That's amazing. How did you ever? I can't believe I'm getting offered that. All right. Let's see. I got this last weekend and I'm very excited about it. And it's basically everything I ever wanted. It's pretty lovely. So that now adorns my desk and I'm very excited about it. Okay. Let's see. We did the Nix flake update. Let's just do a Nix build. See what happens. I don't know why it's fetching OCaml 511 again. But okay. Oh, I guess because I did the Nix flake update. Maybe there's some new versions of some of these packages. It's fine. It should be okay. We're getting there. Good reminder to just run Dune build next time when I just want to see if my actual code change. That is because I just did a Nix flake update. That's why this is taking so long. But that's okay. This should fix it. I'm not sure. I'm not as used to like OCaml's compiler to know like if one compiler error is just hiding another compiler error, or like if they catch them all at the same time, or like usually it has to do with passes, right? Kind of like in Rust, if you have a borrowing problem, it usually hides. If you have a type problem, it's going to hide a borrowing problem typically. And if you have a borrowing problem, it's going to often hide like a lifetime problem. Not a lifetime problem, I'm sorry, a drop. Well, it's kind of like a lifetime problem. You have your type checker, borrow checker, in drop checker. Okay, if you have a name resolution error, you won't see type errors. Okay, we'll see what happens. I mean, this was a type error, so we should be okay. Super regretting the Nix Flake update. I was just like, hey, might as well try this. Not the right thing to do on a Intel MacBook, by the way. We're just rebuilding the entire dependency tree of atacama right now, unnecessarily. Fuck. Oh god. Every time I run Nix Flake update, I'm like, you know, I should just run it for the package that I care about, and I'm like, it's fine. Oh my gosh. Zig overlay decided to recompile LLVM. It's funny. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. See, now we're building Riot. So we're getting real close to actually building atacama right now. I wonder what their test suite looks like for atacama. I guess we can look at that while we're waiting on. Has this little echo server. Okay. Okay. Why so many of these? Why so many errors? Probably because it's also for the old version of Riot. Oh yeah. See, this is going to be receive any as well. Okay. We can just do this. I know that's going to be receive any. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a similar thing. Let's see what io.read actually takes. Reader.read. This is in Rio. And that's when my LSP doesn't work, so I don't actually know the type of that, but let's see if we can just read the type here, since we're here already. Now we're building atacama on the Nix build. Let's go. Let's see. So this takes an IO reader T, optional timeout, and bytes, and returns a result of int or io.io error. And we're supplying it a named argument of buff, which is not which is not even specified here at all. So I'm guessing buff is going to be the bytes, and reader. I'm guessing we need to just change. It seems like there's no longer a named argument there. Was there any functions around io.read that changed that maybe were more correct? I'm not sure. We might want to just look at that as well. Okay, we got a clean Nix build, so that's cool. Let's just do a Dune build for fun, and we should get the test errors. The Nix build's not building the test part, so that could be a problem in like the way I have it configured. Is maybe I also need to say build package test. It's probably the problem. So let's see how the Dune project looks. Okay. Yeah, that part's interesting. I actually am not super familiar with it, and I haven't been doing it this whole time. So that could be a problem. Obviously, we have the ability to run Dune test because like the dev shell includes Dune. So that's fine. But ideally, Nix is also doing the test package build. And I'm not just building it with Dune here. I think ideally that's true. That might be a good question for the Nix channel and the caravan. Okay, so match IO write all buff writer on line 33. Okay. Right. So it seems like the IO API was also changed. Well, I don't know. That takes a writer and a buff string. And then returns a result. Let's just try switching these arguments around and see what happens. I think buff is no longer actually a named argument. No, it is. Except it's a string now. And what type do you think this is? This expression has type bytes, but an expression was expected of type string. Ooh, okay. Maybe there's a write all bytes. Write all vectored. That could be the problem. Hey, Priv, what's up? So let's go into the IO thing in... I was just there, and I didn't look. Oh, it's in Rio. Right, let's see what has changed in Rio. That this is different now. Nunez, how's it going, dude? So our source package works fine. Now we're just seeing if we can figure out some of the test builders. Of course, the problem is that this technically would... This would, like, if somebody had it pinned to a particular version, this could break things for them, but that's okay. I'll just make a PR. I'll probably make these PRs separately. I'll make a PR, since this is like a bigger thing than the Serde sexpr. I'll probably make a PR, let's see, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, there was a rename from IO. This hasn't really changed in that long. Then why isn't this working right? Have these tests just been broken for a long time? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Rio into string, part of module IO vec. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if these tests just already don't work anyway in main. Interesting. So I feel like I actually need to see the difference between reader, read vectored, and reader read. Let's see, read vectored, iovec.t, and closed, IO result. This just says a source t timeout bytes. I mean, this says bytes. That's kind of weird. Let me think about this. And then returns a result. Okay, let's look at the right. Where's right? Where's our writer? Our writer's here. Our right takes our type, our source. Then it takes a buff named argument. And type annotation of string there, right? Isn't that what that means? And returns our result. Okay. Is the IOVAC thing? Huh. What am I missing here? Of course, there's there's write.write and writer.write. So which one am I actually using? Frankie Bignolo. Thanks for the chat. How's it going? Thanking people for putting camels in chat. Let's see. Writer. It is writer. Writer.write is our write all, which you think is the problem. That's the thing we were having an issue with here. Is io.write all. But io, I mean, it's pointing me to here. So why does io automatically point me to write all? It must be that io. Am I silly? Am I silly person? Is this whole thing? I'm thinking this must be taken in by Riot and then re-exported by as IO. That's my guess. Okay. So the test changes, I'm not exactly sure how to fix. So I could make a PR and just say, hey, I fixed the source code, but I'm not sure how to fix the test changes or fix the tests. That's one option. Because first of all, I'm not even seeing this as a recent change. Let's see the last time this test file has been updated. That might tell us something. Let's see. This is in atacama. Oh yeah, it would have been a long time ago. I don't even have to look. It would have been a long time ago. Okay. All right. So again, this expression has type bytes, but an expression was expected of type string. And of course I could like do something different, right? Like I could figure out where this buff is coming from. I could make it into a string. Like this is IO bytes of string. And maybe that whole thing is just not actually necessary. Of course, if it's io.bytes, that means it's actually in Rio, and it should be not what I meant to do. I don't need the blame right now. There should be a bytes module. Of course, search is not case sensitive. We love that. There it is. Bytes. So I guess if it just wants a string and it doesn't want a bytes, then I don't have to give it a byte. I can just make it a string, right? I guess we could just make that change and see what happens. Right, but then we get this whole like io.bytes.length buff, blah blah blah. So we could make this buff stir. No, but then I feel like we're getting into other territory where we're getting length, and maybe I just want to make this string.length. I don't know. I could. We could just like make these changes and then Leandro can say whether they're terrible or not. That's probably a good plan. Okay. Let's figure out what the thing is with read. I think it's somewhat similar. So what's funny is read takes bytes. And in this case, the buff is no longer bytes. So it needs bytes here. So that could be part of the problem. But let's remind ourselves what reader.read takes. Source T, optional timeout, bytes, and returns a result. Now our actual error is this function application is partial. And that's because it doesn't take anything called buff anymore. It just takes bytes. Now what I don't know is so actually what the right thing to do here. Oh, and then it says bytes here, but oh, I see. So I think we'll just do this. We'll just do bytes equals buff. And then we should get something going on. Hey, Purplish, what's up, dude? Okay, and then the reader goes first. This argument cannot be applied with label bytes. The function applied to this argument has type. No, it is. Oh, I'm confused. So reader doesn't seem like it's even there at all. It's getting real weird outside. Are you guys getting a total? Badger? Yeah, it's supposed to happen kind of soon, I think. Semi. Yeah, same with us. I have a coworker in Austin and they're getting like, I don't know. I can't remember how long he said, but very short. Very short total in Austin, apparently. I guess it's the middle of the country that's getting the total. 96%. It's pretty good. That's like an A+ basically. It's pretty good. No, that's cool, His. Your cat's acting like a damn fool. Yeah, it's got to be confusing, dude. It's got to be confusing. Okay. I don't understand this error. Let's just do a Dune build and see. Sometimes that's all I need to do, and then I can actually read the full error output, and it makes more sense to me. The function applied to this argument has type timeout 2 bytes to result. This argument cannot be applied with the label bytes. Oh, that's right. It's not a labeled argument. That could be, it's possible that that's all that it is. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this requires EIO main only for the test. So I don't actually know how to do this in Nix. So this will be, I guess, the next learning, which is My thought is that I would just create like a test package. We'll see if that's true. Not what I meant to do. Okay. So I guess one of the things is, can I say Dune build test? Yeah, I can. It looks like that actually works. And it's fine that this isn't working. Yeah, it's fine. I just want to see if that worked at all. That was just the deriv problem. Okay, so this actually needs to be test, and we're going to do this more like you would for monorepo stuff. Let me look at the test Dune file and see how this works. It takes Atacama as a library. One of the interesting things is technically, EIO is mentioned somewhere, because that was the error that I got. Bench. Oh, that's in bench. It's not in test. It's in bench. I forgot. And I knew bench existed, but I was thinking of just not even dealing with it. But maybe I should. I don't know. Because you're building 3 executables to do all these things. I think I'm just going to not touch that. I can see why Dune build is doing this, but if I say Dune build atacama, we just want to make sure that works. So let me actually undo all these changes. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. We're so back. It was really funny. There was like all these things, I guess, on social media my partner was telling me about that was like, don't let your animals look at the sun. And it's like, do animals usually look at the sun? Like I don't think, like, they might get a little confused about like the light changes, but I don't think like your cats and dogs are going to be like, oh, why is it dark? Let me look up at the sun. I'm not seeing that. I'm not even seeing that. Dogs can't look up. Well, there you go. Yeah, only humans do that, and then they ruin their eyes for life, right? Classic humans. Classic. Okay. So I know the Dune build atacama worked. Let's just see if the Dune build test works. And then we'll try it. We'll try a Dune test and see if that works. Yeah, but cats and dogs are the dumb animals. Hey Antonio, what's up, man? Computers. We're doing a lot of computer stuff here. We're using computers. We're building things for computers. I mean, it's getting pretty serious. And we're still waiting for this. T3NYD, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Why are we rebuilding OCaml OSP server? Didn't we already do this? I swear this already happened. Your roommate's chickens shit in the corner of their coop and then sleep in it. Nice. Yeah. No, I hope he puts a bunch of blinders all around their coop so they don't look up. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. All right, finally evaluated. Durin is taking a while to execute, and I don't actually care. I just cared that the Dune build atacama worked. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah. Except I do care, because if I don't have my dev shell, then I don't have this. You didn't know about the follows equals thing? Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that, but it ended up being a really nice solution. So I was very happy about that as well. Okay, so we're back to this. Your next build rebuilds OCaml every time? Oh, because you have a v5 overlay. Okay. I was like, what is this nonsense? Okay, so let's just run Dune test like this. Oh no, bad payload. Why do we have a bad payload? What's wrong with our test? It's probably because the change between string and bytes. That's probably what it is. That is actually what I should call my playlist for on YouTube for all the videos for the Nix flakes. Doing everything possible to avoid writing an overlay. I mean, there's an OCaml 5 package in Nix, right? I mean, I just get OCaml 5. From Nix packages. Yeah, Antonio's overlays are really good. I actually use his I use his overlays in another project in a Dream project, because Dream's not in Nix packages. And I was like, how am I going to do this without things that I don't want to do? And eclipse is happening now. Should we open the blinds? I don't think you're going to see anything. We're not getting a total eclipse here anyway. I don't know. It's a super cloudy day. I no joke used Eclipse in my first job. Whatever that was, 10 years ago. You took a photo of outside. It just looked normal, but you still took the photo. So you walked outside, and you looked up, and you're like, it looks normal, but I'm still just going to yeah. Yeah, it was well, I mean, it was my first job. It was my first time using Java, and I used Eclipse, and it was pretty clunky. Pretty clunky. Yep. Okay. Eclipse. Very good. I don't think it got too exciting. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Maybe if I was outside, I would see something. Probably not, because it's literally just clouds. All right. So our Eka test failed. I'm not even in the right file. That might help. Which is just the name of this whole thing. So I'm a little confused by this. This is obviously just like an OCaml thing, but line 2 in test/Dune, I guess It's not the most helpful. It's not the most helpful test failed message, in the sense that line 2 is literally where we just specify echo test. Oh yeah, it's not even day where you live. Yeah, that makes sense, Secret. I read that wrong several times. Okay, so we have a bad payload with all of these all this random shit at the end. I wonder why. Okay. I'm gonna guess it's the difference between using bytes and not. Let me see where the actual let rec send loop. Okay. Bad payload. Bad payload. Do we have like bad payload in here somewhere? Okay, here we go. Bad. We got there. Match receive any with received hello world. Okay. Received other. Bad payload. Okay. So instead of having hello world as a string, we somehow ended up with hello world with a bunch of /zeros after. I know somebody who took CS probably knows like that might be a thing, and I'm sorry that I don't know what it means, okay? I'm sorry. Let's see. So I'm gonna guess that the change that I made, I didn't really do anything here. It is a little bit confusing. The part of this that's confusing is they changed the right to take a string, which I kind of get. But then this is still just like a byte buffer. Okay. And if it has all this capacity, I'm guessing these are just the empty, this is just filling that byte buffer with the rest of the capacity that the hello world didn't take up. That's what I'm guessing is happening. That's my guess. And that's why we have this super long string now that came from this byte buffer here. So that's a little bit confusing. It kind of makes me think maybe what we want is like, let's look at the type of write real quick. Let's just see what write takes. Unbound value io.write. I'm pretty sure it was a real value. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? I really thought it was. It's right here. This is io.write. And it's writer.write. Right. It's writer.write right. But this still just takes a string as well. Did this test ever work? That's the problem. Is I don't actually know if this test ever worked. Okay. How do we turn on debug logging when we run tests in OCaml? In OCaml, debug logging tests. Yeah, I just wrote that without writing OCaml. It's probably not going to help me. Is it alcotest? I don't know. It's a good question. Let's, oh my God, what am I doing? I haven't installed alcotest, so I'm going to say it's not alcotest. It kind of seems like it's, what's the logging library? That might be more helpful to know. I can find that out somewhat easily. Module logger. This is in Riot Private Lib, logger app. Okay, let's just go to the Doom project. NDX OCaml ODoc Riot telemetry. This tells us nothing. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't actually know the names of the main logging libraries for OCaml, so I'm probably even less likely to find the right answer to that. Kentucky Juice, thanks for the follow. Okay, setup logs. Oh, this is a good idea. It's probably like set level. That might actually work even in general. Let's see what the LSP thinks about that if I just have like a logger.set level thing. Echo test. I'm guessing it is just down here. Yeah, here's our main function. Ah, it's literally right here. Logger.set log level some info. I just had to actually read the code. I'm sorry that you actually spent time trying to help me, Antonio. Okay, client sent 11 bytes and client received 11 bytes. Interesting. Well, you'd think we'd be okay then. If we only sent 11 bytes, and then we had client receive 11 bytes. Let's see, this is the receive loop. Reader buff, logger debug, and then it finally returns those bytes. And I guess I'm wondering if there was a change here. So obviously it's just returning the, right, the result is just a result of the int, which is just the length, right? Yeah. It's just the length of the bytes. So that looks fine, except that this whole thing doesn't seem so fine. Which is this whole thing. I'm a little bit I'm just curious, like if I change this to here, what happens? what happens is this test never actually finishes running. Okay, it hangs forever. I have seen a few reports of there being issues with hanging in some cases on Riot. I don't know if that's really it or if it's something else. Let's just change this. It was what do we have it before? It was 128. Let's just change it to 64 and see how different things are. Instead of going solo, see if this makes any difference. Okay, it is what I expected. Our empty bytes are decreased by about half, actually. Okay. So what if I say 12? We just have one extra. Okay. And so I don't know if this is really a problem in the test or a problem with my changes. Oh, that just worked fine. Okay. I'm just going to go with this change and say it's the difference between before their writer took bytes and now it's taking a string. I'm going to pretend that's the change. Realistically, there's probably some change in IO read that made it work this way. But I think since this test is actually working, that's probably good enough. I think that's fine. Leandro can tell me if he hates it. It's usually my go-to. Okay, so excuse me. Let's make sure I don't have a commit. I don't. And then we need to separate out some of this logic. So let's add our flake dot lock and our flake dot nix, and let's see, is that what I wanted to do? Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we can just stash our actual changes. Untracked files. Oh, that's because, yeah, that's fine. So this is all good. No, I did something dumb here. I did something dumb. I added them, but then they just disappeared. Oh, that's because I stashed my get ignore changes. I just forgot to add the get ignore. That's all I need to do. And then we would be happy. Git add, get ignore. Okay, now we're happier. And now we'll just say whip. And then we can actually just check out main. We don't even need a stash. And we should be here. Not worried about those things. But everything should work fine. We can do a little add you, commit him. And what should we say? I don't know if this is a feature. Is it a feature to support the latest version of Riot? Or is it a fix? I don't know what it is. We'll say feature. Sure. Maybe it's a chore. I don't actually know. I don't know what. I'm not used to these little words. We don't do that where I work. Let's look at we'll look at Riot because it probably has the most pull requests to see how he did it. feature riot, add run with status function. Sure. Probably doesn't matter too much. Sure, we'll call it a chore. Whatever. Update. We'll just say support latest riot, because I don't think he actually has the version out. I guess he's probably going to call this 009 support. I'll just say support latest riot. He can change it if he wants to. Let's, oh god, I just committed that on main. Not what I meant to do. Let's check out a branch. Conv update riot, and then we'll have to do that again. And that, and push to fork. All right, cool. And we should now be able to go to Atacama and open our PR. Feat fix chore test support right. Okay, thanks, Antonio. I didn't even look at that. Instead, I just, you know, struggled as usual. This updates Atacama and the tests. Oh, I get it. Like to put all of those. I can't decide, so I'm just gonna do the whole thing. Yeah, I got it. Good. This updates Atacama and the test suite to support to work with. Sure. The latest with the latest right. Sure. State of main and right. Good enough. This is necessary also to make the Nix flake work nicely for Atacama without annoying workarounds and right. Basically, we didn't have a flake that actually worked the right way in Riot at 008, which is what Atacama actually depends on. So I have a hard time believing these tests even worked with Riot 008, but I could be wrong. I didn't check because I didn't feel like installing OPam to find out. Okay. Cool. Well, we did some cool stuff today. We fixed a bug in Serde sexpr to support the latest Serde, and we fixed something in Atacama to support the latest Riot. We made some improvements to our Nix flakes, and reminded ourselves that I'm very much still a noob when it comes to OCaml. But if you want some more OCaml, I also do some Rust and Nix, then send me a follow on here. If you want really bad takes and stream notice there, you can follow me on Twitter. You can hang out with a bunch of streamers, including myself, that are mostly FP focused, OCaml-ish focused. I mean, does Dylan even write OCaml anymore? On the Caravan. And if you want to get some VODs, they're all on YouTube. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's find somebody to raid. Dylan was an OCaml psyop. That's the best thing I've ever heard.